Okay, we bought this Nissan 720 1986, and we found the gear box for the steering wheel was completely dry. So we filled this gearbox up with oil and it started to leak everywhere, so we replaced the seal. Then we filled it back up with oil and we didn't see any leaking oil, so we did a good job. But we're going to open up this gearbox, drain this oil, take a look at the sector shaft, see if there's any damage we can see, and put it all back together.
So right here we'll unscrew this nut because it's so tight. We need this Pitman arm puller, like 15 bucks at Harbor Freight. But this little bar right here gets in the way of that. So what we need to do first is to take that off.
Pictures are always good ideas, right?
Very important to put everything back
Reference.
the way that it was. You loosen this nut right here. To loosen this bar from these nuts right there, right here, that one, and then this one right here. We need to hold these from the top, unscrew them from the bottom, and that'll take the bar off from this side. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to open up the gearbox.
Oh, the gearbox.
Right
Down there.
Right in there.
Oh, golly. We gotta open the gearbox. What do you think, Braz?
That sounds tough.
Yeah, I know. It is. This guy right here is where you fill in the gear oil, and we're going to have to empty the gear oil out of that. So as we take this sector shaft off up here, so we gotta get a bucket. We put it under here just in case it slips out. It'll catch all the oil that we have to drain.
With this gearbox, we're draining out all the fluid in it. We're gonna pull out the shaft, and it will drain out through the bottom. You got the bucket there. So,
There we go.
there we go. Okay.
Just pulls it up. That's all you gotta do. As you pull it up, the bottom, the seal, is gonna drain, and all that's gonna go down the drain. Oh boy.
Okay.
Just comes up.
Okay. Let that drip there.
There we go.
There you go.
This part right here is the gear that connects to the steering wheel, and as we turn it all the way left or right, it literally will go up and down. Right? Let's try it.
So let's see.
And then it stops, right?
Yep.
So it seems that we are at the top of where the gearbox is. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna spin the wheel until it hits the bottom. We're gonna count how many spins it takes to hit the bottom, and then we're gonna divide that in half, and that should be our center for where we want the gear shaft to connect to the gear.
Okay, we're gonna count.
Till it goes all the way to the bottom on the gear box. Go ahead.
Okay, let's go. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.5.
Once we pull that out, the important thing is there's 2 of these gears here, and it's got to line up right in the center, so all the teeth look like they're lined up. Then you want to make sure your steering wheel is directly in the center how you want it.
So next thing we need to do is to put the top back onto the gearbox. And something to remember about this is that it has this little rectangle shaped washer, and that is supposed to slide on top of the gear shaft so that it stays in place.
It's the only thing that holds the sector shaft in the gearbox. So you got to make sure you slide that on so it holds onto it. Okay, so the easiest way we've noticed is from the front wheel well. If you push this up just a little bit, you can actually see where that rectangle needs to go. So you can come from here and use your fingers to move it back and forth where it needs to go. So we already got it in. We're gonna let it go back down. So now that we got this sector shaft of the gearbox down and through, now we got to put this pitman arm back on. We're gonna put it on, then we're gonna see which way it goes, left or right better. And then we're gonna have to take it off again and put it back and turn the wheel and make sure it gets in the right teeth so that our left and our right is even.
So now that we have the cap for the gearbox on, we drain the fluid, so now we're going to put gear oil back in. And so it has this little plastic kind of nut on it, and we're going to twist that off, put the funnel in, and
Pour it.
choke the gear oil.
Make it happen.
Yep, here we go. We have the pitman arm all on. I think we're going to test drive it to see exactly how the steering is, if the alignment is how we want it to be. So we just went out with the truck, tested the alignment of the steering, and it was pretty good. Neutral position was neutral, turned left equally as well as right, and so we're going to put that brace bar back on and we're going to call it a day.